Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. Yesterday was a pretty interesting day, right? We had already had our content planned out. I was at the gym, right? I was at the gym and we had already done a live before that reacting to some comments that Daryl Morey made about LeBron's championship, saying that people didn't think it was a valid one in the NBA. So we did that, and then I'm just getting ready to publish a video, and then I check my phone, and I see Mitch has already sent me a thumbnail. He's like, it's a pretty big one. I'm like, what are you talking about? I just literally jumped out the shop. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, Shannon Sharpe got fired from ESPN. I said, what? I said, what? Shannon Sharpe got what? So immediately jumped on the live. I think during that live, we had like 3,000 people in there. The thing was jumping, right? And we were reacting to the story. And then while we're reacting to that story, Gilbert Arenas' news comes out. So Shannon gets fired from ESPN, and everybody was reacting to it. And as you guys know, it's created a lot of conversation because, number one, people are looking at it from the standpoint of, okay, we're thinking about where Shannon was coming from at the top of the game. And he still is in certain extents. He's still very successful in the podcasting space. You know, to going on working on the hottest show, morning sports talk show in the United States in First Take, to then finding himself in a lawsuit, being sued for $50 million by an OnlyFans model. And then, we started hearing the audio come out of their interactions. And then we hear that he offered her $10 million, in which she declined. And then they filed a lawsuit for $50 million. And later on, we found out that he allegedly, or reportedly rather, paid $23 million to this woman, and the woman then went out there to basically say she's retired. It was just a total mess, right? Now, one of the things that did surprise me, however, was that Shannon Sharpe actually ended up dropping a video on his Nightcap channel talking about this very thing, where he addressed the news of him being fired from ESPN, and essentially it's something that he knew was coming. He had just hoped that it would come out next week, Monday, because I believe his brother was being inducted into the Hall of Fame, and he didn't want this news to overshadow that. Okay, so what we want to do now is I want to play with Shannon on the show yesterday, and I'm going to come back and react to his comments. Take a listen to Shannon Sharpe here.
Before we get started, obviously, I'm sure everybody's heard the news by now that I will not be returning to ESPN. I found out this information a little earlier in the week, and really the only thing that I really ask is, like, guys, could we wait until Monday? My brother's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I really wanted it to be about him, and I wanted it to be about my family. I know this coming out will overshadow everything that he's worked his entire life for. And unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. And so as I told him, as I profusely apologized to him earlier today, he said, bro, stop apologizing. You don't have to apologize. I'm your big bro. I'm going to love you regardless. We all make mistakes. And he says, bro, I love you. So I'm done with this. You're done with it too. Move on. And I really enjoyed my time at ESPN. It gave me an opportunity to bring my audience that saw me really just grow. They saw me, Lakers in 5, and they saw me say all these analogies that my grandparents gave me, and I was able to bring that to ESPN. So I'm very, very grateful for that. But I just wished, of all things, like I said, hey, they did what they felt they needed to do, and I'm at peace with that. But I just wish, guys, this thing could have waited until Monday, because I hate the fact that I'm overshadowing my brother, the first two brothers in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And this is what the headline's going to be for the next couple of days. So, bro, again, I know you told me that I don't have to apologize, but I'm going to do it one final time tonight, and I won't apologize again. I'm sorry that I upstaged you in this manner. That was never my intent. You've been my hero. You've been my role model from as long as I can remember. And I apologize, and I thank all my fans for supporting me when I was at ESPN and every place that I've been, be it Club Shay Shay, Nightcap, Undisputed, ESPN. Thank you guys for your support.
Excellent. So you heard what he had to say. What are my thoughts about this? Look, man, this is just incredible. This is just incredible that you're looking at a guy that was dominating the space, like he still is, but like really dominating the space, having interviews that would go viral pretty much every single time. And he still has interviews that do very well on his channel, but he was in a totally different stratosphere. And then things just started to go left, man. Shannon just started to, he was doing things on the internet that I just couldn't believe. You had that video, that audio that came out that was leaked, him going on Instagram Live, and then you have this situation here, and then he was beefing with different people in media, and you knew inevitably something like this would happen. But then the story with this girl is the one that just, it's just shocking. And then now you cost yourself a job at ESPN. For those of you guys who don't understand how serious this is, there were reports that ESPN was planning to give Shannon Sharpe his own show. His own show. There were even talks at the time of Shannon Sharpe possibly replacing Stephen A. Smith on ESPN First Take, because there were reports that Stephen A. Smith may be interested in doing late night. This is what we're talking about, Shannon, 6 months ago, 7-8 months ago. So we go from that to now finding yourself on the outside trying to look in. It's just crazy. Now, I've also heard some rumors out there that Shannon Sharpe may be going over to work at Barstools. I haven't heard anything concrete about that. It's just a rumor that he may end up going over there and working with those guys. But the fact of the matter is, he was on a major platform. He was on the biggest sports network in the world, or at least in the United States. And regardless of how well he's doing now, it's going to have an impact. The fact is, when you're on ESPN, you're on a bigger platform, you're on TV, you're more visible, things just generally seem to work out better for you. Like, some of the most successful podcast guys are usually on TV if we're talking about sports personalities. It's harder when you're no longer on TV trying to have that same level of success. It's just harder. There were days he used to promote his liquor on the show. He used to promote his podcast on the show in front of a live audience of hundreds of thousands of people. Well, you no longer have that platform, right? It was a major platform to promote other things that you were doing. Stephen A. Smith even promoted his podcast on ESPN. So it's definitely a big hit. I also heard that he said he's kind of at peace with it, which is good. The guy worked very hard over the last 5-6 years to make all the money that he's made, and now he has to really work double time to not only make up the money that he's lost with this insane lawsuit, but to kind of make up for the money that he's probably going to lose not being on TV. Just a crazy story. Now, this is a show that really excited me when I saw the title, because it has to do with the return of Michael Jordan to the NBA space in terms of commenting on the sport. As you guys know, he's going to be one of the contributors for NBC. And, there have been some people out there that have speculated what kind of role is Jordan going to play and how is he going to be? Is he going to be politically correct? Is he going to be a diplomatic, or is he going to say it like it is? Now, some people try to go out there and say, can you imagine this, by the way, that Michael Jordan is going to come back and attack his own fans because they're being too harsh to LeBron James, that they over-glorify his 6-0 record. What? Like, there were people out there that really thought this, that Michael Jordan was going to come back and attack his fans to protect LeBron. Like, LeBron James ain't got enough. Like, LeBron ain't working night and day with him and his minions to destroy Jordan's legacy. Like, I'm lost. Right? So some people actually thought that, Jordan's going to come back. You're going to rub them on the belly and tell them how nice they are and all of this stuff. He's going to just be nice to them. Even if he's watching guys mail it in and not putting forth effort, he's going to come out here and rub them on the booty and say, you're good job. This is great, blah, 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 blah. Well, it looks like all of that ain't going to happen, because somebody that's close to Jordan and a former teammate of his, John Salley, recently did a sit down on the Rich Eisen show where he was asked to essentially give his take on how does he feel Michael is going to be when he's critiquing the game. And John Salley said in no uncertain terms that Michael Jordan is going to destroy these guys. If he sees that you're mailing it in or you're playing like ass, he's going to let you know it, and he's not going to hold back whatsoever. And I'm like, oops, I guess there goes that whole narrative of Jordan coming up there and twerking it up for you guys and telling you guys are great when in reality y'all are playing like ass. I guess that's a lie. So what we want to do now is going to play exactly what John Salley had to say in terms of what he expects from Michael Jordan in his new role. And then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to John Salley here.
My wonderful agent, Babette Perry, she set up a call. I said, I want to go back to NBC. I want to work back in television. Right. I think we need to give a different look, or we need to give a perspective that, I have at watching it for so long and how much I trained. But they gave the job to Brad Daugherty and Tracy McGrady this morning. good for those guys. I'm very happy for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you literally just found this out, is what you
I found that out. And at first, my cousin Mike Odom, he down in that. He tells me when people die. He tell me. He's the black part of the news, so I get all.
You got all of that.
Oh yeah.
How do you think Jordan's going to be as an analyst? What do you think?
It's going to be a lot of, that boy sucks. Man, I don't know how they paid that guy. I wouldn't have paid him. You're going to get a lot of because now
is that what he says in the?
He's 62 now. He's going to tell you what he thinks. Mm-hmm. I'm sure of that. But his perspective is from a killer. So it's going to be really, really good. And you know what? You can tell when somebody's dogging it. Not as well as Michael. Michael can tell, and I think he's going to give. I think it's going to be, at points. I don't think he's going to be constant every day.
The suggestion I gave to somebody at NBC, and I don't know if they're going to take this suggestion,
is hire John Salley.
Well, I can do that. I didn't know you were interested at the time when I had an audience with somebody in NBC management a few months ago. As I said, you should do a segment with Jordan where somebody, as you know, like the Shaq'd in a Fool segment, right?
Right.
Where Shaq responds to somebody doing something silly, because inevitably somebody will say something silly. They put it on an iPad and hand it to him like they did back in the day for The Last Dance. And because you never wanted to be on the iPad, hand it to Michael Jordan.
Excellent. So you heard what he had to say. Y'all heard what he had to say. There's no way. If you've listened to the stories about Michael Jordan and how he was hard on his teammates, there's no way how he would, when he was a former owner, he would go in there and chew out the locker room when they were playing back. Like, there's no way. So you expect Jordan to sit down and watch a game where players are not really playing well and not really putting forth a good effort, and he's supposed to say, "Oh no, this is great. Oh, this is awesome." It's nonsense. I've heard Jordan criticize the fact that young players today make so much money so fast that they don't appreciate I've heard him say this on golf courses. But now all of a sudden, he's going to come back and start twerking it up all over the place and allow them to pour honey all over his ankles. And he's not going to go for it. He's not going to go for it. And why should he? It's almost like as if you don't want people to tell you the truth. You want them to go up there, twerk it up. So if you don't want an honest critique on the game, how is it supposed to get better? If you don't want your product to improve, if you don't want constructive feedback, how is your product meant to improve? If you open up a restaurant that sells burgers and they're okay, you don't want people to tell you, "Hey man, look, your burgers they're okay, but if you do this, if you added this condiment, if you did that, it could be better." No, I don't want that, because you're destroying the burger industry. What? But that's what they've been saying. If Jordan does that, he's going to destroy the product. No, he's not. He's going to make it better. He's going to make it better. Look, we got to improve this area. We got to improve that area. Guys should be doing this. That's what it's going to do. So him calling out people that are just out there mailing it in, it's a good thing. Do you know why? Because when they get the message, they will improve, therefore making the viewing experience better for the paying and viewing customer. How isn't this rudimentary? It's like we're using this ninjutsu, like this backwards logic. I'm confused. Oh no, Jordan's not going to do that because you're going to destroy. What are you talking about? You talking about the biggest brand that ever was associated with the NBA, which is Jordan himself. He is the biggest brand. In case some of y'all didn't know, the highest earning athlete last year was Michael Jordan. It wasn't Ronaldo, wasn't LeBron, it was Jordan. He earned $300 million. A guy that hasn't played basketball in going on 25 years. Well, how is that possible? Because of his impact. And you expect that he's going to, if Jordan talking sports is going to bring back old fans that probably went away. What are we talking about here? You just want him to go up there and lie. Look at something that's clearly not good and tell you it's good. And then people will be able to see through it. Really? That's what you want from Michael Jordan? Who are these people that want this? You just want him to go up there and blow hot air up your you know what? No. We need that. There's way too much twerking going on. Way too much. What do you think one of the reasons why Charles Barkley is so good? Because he's candid. He's candid. Like them bums. He's candid. That's why he's so good. What a thought. Being honest can really get you far. What a thought. What a thought. What a concept. It's like, wait a minute, you can be honest and give your real opinion and you can still be successful. You can still be successful. Yeah, that can happen. Just because you got a bunch of people out there twerking it up and hollering and screaming and pouring honey all over each other and screaming and disrupting the place and knocking over cups all over the table, that don't mean you got to do that too. You know, people come to me, man, if you only twerked it up a little bit more, if you're only a little bit nicer to LeBron, maybe you'd be a little bit further. It's okay. I think we're doing all right without sitting up here lying. I'll leave it to those that want to lie and let them make their money. More power to them. There's enough money for everybody. There's enough money for the twerkers, and there's enough money for people that are just going to tell it how they see it. Period. End of story. Jordan gonna come back and he's gonna rub him on the booty and tell him and sing him and tell him good night stories. He's just gonna go there and be nice to them and say, and he's gonna attack his fan base. The guy that's gonna be a diplomat is gonna attack his fan base. Let those two conflicting ideas work together. I'm gonna be a diplomat, but I'm gonna attack my. What are you talking about? But this is what people are trying to sell. All of the people that y'all got twerking it up, you want him too. He gotta be up there twerking it up too, huh? Unreal. Unbelievable. So Luka Dončić is the man of the hour in LA, right? He's the face of the Lakers now in the present day and moving forward. And a lot of people pretty much assume that Luka's going to sign a contract extension. I think he's going to sign a contract extension with the Lakers. And recently he made some headlines over a men's health shoot that he did where he was revealing his new body, right? And Luka, to be fair, looked to be in tip-top shape. He looked really good. You could see his cuts. The guy really leaned down and he really took care of himself. And apparently what he did was he actually stopped playing basketball for a month to just focus on his nutrition and dieting. He said this is the first time he had ever gone that long without playing basketball. And he said he's not going to forget how to play basketball in 1 month. But he needed to take that break to just get into a whole new different regimen, which is admirable and it's bold, right? Because usually we're creatures of habit and we generally want to do things the way we've been used to doing them, especially when you have success. I mean, the guy is an all NBA first play every single year. So for him to kind of just be open-minded enough to shift his philosophy on training and all of that says a lot about him, and clearly it worked. So recently he did a sit down on the Today Show, I think, which is based in California. And they were talking about a plethora of things, his diet, of course, and all of that. But then they got to the point where they were talking about his relationship with Kobe Bryant. Now, before we get into that, why is that important? Because recently Luka made some headlines because Danny Parkins at FS1 was upset that Luka, when he was talking about his fitness journey, didn't mention LeBron James. Instead, he talked about, you know, the influence that Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan had, and I think in Dirk Nowitzki. But instead, this guy was like, why didn't he talk about LeBron? Is that a shot at LeBron? LeBron is in LA. LeBron is his teammate. Why doesn't he give LeBron credit? Which is what they always want to do. They want to give LeBron credit so bad. The guy's in there working his tail off. And it's like, no, he's in there because LeBron is like, bro, can we stop? So that got a lot of people pissed off. So this is kind of like a continuation of that. And essentially they asked him, you know, what was it like meeting Kobe? What impact did he have on you? And I'm like, this is fantastic, right? This is fantastic. So what we want to do now is going to play what Luka had to say on the Today Show. I want you guys to listen to it. Very short audio, not even up to a minute. And then we're going to come back and continue on. Take a listen to Luka here.
What a year it has been. I mean, last season you were part of one of the most shocking trades in NBA history, going to Los Angeles. And when you got there, you acknowledged the impact that Kobe Bryant has had on you. Talk about the advice he once gave you and how he's influencing the torch you want to carry on there.
Yeah, I actually met him twice or three times. You know, first time was before my season, before I even started in the NBA. He surprised a couple of our first-year players at the training camp at Nike. So I mean, I was shocked. I was nervous. I didn't know what to say. And then second time was when he trash talked me behind my back. So wow. I turned around and it's Kobe. It was just an amazing feeling.
So you heard what Luka had to say there. What are my thoughts about this? I think, look, if Luka was a politician, he's doing a fantastic job because he's really ingratiating himself with the fan base. The fact is, LA is a Kobe town, right? It's a Kobe town. And what Laker fans, I believe, want to see is that you have a player in here that's understanding how important this guy was, not just to this franchise, but to the city. So Luka doing this, I think he's ingratiating himself with the fan base, right? Which is something LeBron didn't do. LeBron just came to LA and it made it about him, right? Luka's like, no, I understand that Kobe is the guy here. For God's sakes, they gave the guy 3 statues, for God's sakes. 3, not 1, not 2, but 3. Right? 3, and on one of them, they have written on there the man that built Staples Center. So him ingratiating himself with Kobe fans and by extension Laker fans, I think is a smart move. I think it's a smart move to endear yourself with the fan base. Also, you heard that he paid for the mural that was the face of Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gigi. That's also a smart move, right? But Luka and Kobe were actually cool. There's video footage of it of Luka playing at a Lakers game and Kobe Bryant is talking trash to him in his native language, right? So for him to now be a Laker, and I think he's going to be a Laker moving forward, for him to just pretty much embrace the importance of Kobe to that city, I think is a great thing, and he's going to make fans out of a lot of people like myself, right? Because most of us, we don't play around when it comes to Kobe. So even nobody's saying that Luka's like Kobe Bryant or no, nobody's saying that, but I can kind of see Luka carrying on the Laker legacy. Now, obviously, there's a lot more to it than just talking the talk. You got to walk the walk, and you got some really big shoes to fill when you're coming in there to carry on the tradition of Kobe Bryant. And you're passing on the torch from Kobe to Luka Dončić. It's a big thing, right? It's a big thing, and Luka's going to have some big shoes to fill because the expectations on him are going to be astronomical. You got to go out there and you got to deliver. And I think that if Kobe were alive and saw the commitment that Luka made to his diet, it would speak volumes about his mentality and his willingness to commit. And that's where Kobe gained a lot of respect for people, is through their capacity to commit. If you didn't commit, he just wouldn't respect you, right? So him doing that, it sends the right message to the fan base, like, hey, look, I'm here. Now, again, as I said, you got to go out there and produce the results, and it's not going to be easy, right? You got to build this thing up. When Kobe was there during that second stint without Shaq, they had to build it up from the ground. They went from being a team that was not even a playoff team to a team that was being knocked out in the first round to then becoming a team that would make it to the finals and then ultimately becoming a team that would win championships. So you got to understand there's going to be a process. But from this standpoint, or at least as I'm looking at things right now, Luka's he's already taking the right steps, which is number one, perfecting the things that he can perfect, which is working on himself. And then now the rest of it is them going out there and playing. It's going to be tough, right? The Western Conference is stout. They have a lot of serious teams in the West that the Lakers are going to have to compete with, not just this season, but going into next season.